Great morning to you guys. Thank you for joining me for another time of daily devotions in 3 minutes or less. Today's devotion is being saved only by grace. And I'll be reading from 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 15. Here's what it says. Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am chief. Paul wasn't just acting humble when he declared that he was the worst of sinners. He never forgot that in his blind zeal, he had arrested and tortured numerous Christians and urged that they be killed. Looking back years later, he stated that any righteousness he once thought he had was rubbish. And we see that in Philippians chapter 3, verse 8. Why did God choose such a sinner for one of his leading apostles? Paul explained that God wanted to show by his example that there was no person so sinful that he couldn't redeem them. And you can take a look at 1 Timothy 1:16 also. However, sometimes after you've been serving the Lord for a few years, you can forget what a bad state you were once in. You can begin to think that you're quite righteous and can even start to believe that you're good enough to make it on your own. But remind yourself what Jesus saved you from, and that it was by his grace you were saved, not your own goodness. And I encourage you to also read Ephesians 2:8 and 9. It's so important to live by grace every day. If it were not for God's grace, where would we be? If it were not for his grace, how can we count the blessings we have in our life, whether it be spiritual, financial, physical, family, whatever blessings God has blessed you with, a roof over your head, the next meal that you eat, it truly is a blessing because someone somewhere is lacking that very thing that God is choosing to bless you with. And even maybe your positive attitude, your positive mental attitude, that in itself is a blessing which leads to other blessings. So be grateful for those blessings and understand that it's only by grace that we have this, not by work so that we can boast, but only by God's grace. Guys, have an awesome day and take care.